Hey everybody, Mike from the Focus Garage coming at you. In today's video, we're going to be getting rid of these unsightly holes on your Harley Davidson touring bike. Typically this will be seen on like an Ultra, Ultra Limited, Road Glide Ultra, Road Glide Limited, things of that nature where it's not a special, where it's got, you know, the kind of more swoop down fender that fills in between there. You'll have kind of these giant holes where you can put lights or something else. However, I've got bag lights and I didn't want to go the route of putting more lights in between my fender there. So Kuryakyn actually makes these little filler panels here which bolt right in between those holes, and we'll close this off. And since my bike is already glossy black, it'll be a very easy replacement to throw these on here and kind of give more of that completed look from the rear end of the bike. So again, here's what we've got. We've got the Kuryakyn pieces here. That is the part number. And if you do want to look through the instructions, here's what you've got here if you want to go ahead and pause your video on that. Just to get an idea of what you're going to be working with, this is very easy. This should take just a few minutes. You're literally going to be spending more time taking the saddlebags on and off, which is going to be the first step that we start with here. So you're going to want to go ahead and remove the left and right side saddlebag. This is done very easily by obviously opening the saddlebag here, and then inside either bag you've got these little quick release locks. You're going to turn them both counterclockwise. You'll pull the bags off, and then we're going to kind of get right into it here. I'll show you what we're working with, and we'll show you how easy that is. So just give me a moment here. I'll rip the bags off, and we'll jump back. So following right along, you can see that we've got the saddlebags removed here, and this is pretty much the pocket that you're going to be working with. It's the back side of that hole that I was showing you. So here we've got obviously the suspension, and then we've got the back side of the hole here. All we really got to do is it comes to you like this, with the hardware, the screws, separate from the filler panel. I've assembled the one here, and what you pretty much want to do is just using a Phillips head screwdriver, put the screws in the brackets loosely in to the filler panel itself. Then all you've got to do is just put the filler panel on the motorcycle here, rotate these little brackets, get it lined up where you want. So for the instance of this, you probably want this about flush with the top of this little bump in the chrome here, and you can see that the bottom of this filler panel is going to scoot up against the fender little skirt on the bottom there. So we've got the fender skirt matching the bracket of this, when this piece is right on the top of that little chrome drop down. You'll adjust these brackets here so that they're pretty much flush, tighten the screws so that it's pulling it inward and pulling tension against your little fender support bracket here, and that's it. You've got your filler panel aligned and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and kind of loosen the shrink wrap. You can see that they've got plastic wrap on the back of these here to make sure that nothing gets scratched up while you're installing it. So I'll go ahead and remove some of that shrink wrap, and then we'll just get this tightened down along the back of the bike here, and then we're pretty much ready to go. So super simple, super easy. I'm going to go ahead and get both of these installed, and we'll show you what we're looking at when we've got everything tightened down. So they're installed. It's that easy. What's going to make it the best for you is you're going to want to tighten these down to the point where there's not much gap to get the bracket in between the motorcycle before you slide it on here, because it is kind of difficult to thread this screw inside like this into the plastic while trying to hold the bracket in place while making sure that the little deflector, or I guess filler piece is where it needs to be. So obviously you're going to want to go ahead, get everything where it needs to be lined up, make sure this is almost tight, and then while holding these little ears in place, tighten down the screw, each one a little bit at a time till they're perfectly snug, and then that's it. This piece is super secure to the bike. It's not going anywhere. The only fitment thing that I have a question about is kind of where it meets the fender skirt on there. There is this weird gap. I'm sure this can be completely fixed if you Dremel off one piece or the other on the motorcycle or on your fender skirt there. I'm sure if I got rid of this little ear, I could get this to fit perfectly flush, but again, not a huge deal to me. It does cause a little bit of a weird gap in between here that you can see. It looks obviously way worse on camera than it does in real life. When you stand back here from the back of the bike, you can see that it's really not that bad. You've got both pieces filled on here. So I'll go ahead and I will put the bags back on, and I'll show you what this looks like now with this hole closed off. And that's pretty much it. Now I've got both bags reinstalled here, and I'm just kind of showing you what it looks like from the rear of the bike now. And you can see all that empty chrome and hole that we've got there. Totally filled in, matches the bike pretty much perfect, I guess you could say. The bike's a little bit dusty now, so some colors are a little bit off, but that's it. You can see there's the bag there, the filler panel, and the fender. And then just, depending on what angle you look at it from, everything goes together really well. No complaints from me. That fits well. So again, here is the instruction guide if you wanted to get a better look at that, if you're interested in ordering it. And then your actual part number is just right up there. That's what you've got. Kuryakyn, little filler panels. And then that's just what they look like on the bike. I chose this route because I didn't want to go with another set of lights on the motorcycle. I figured that would kind of overwhelm the look of the bike. But at the same time, I also didn't want to leave these giant filler panels open. And then I didn't want to get a different fender on the bike, you know, like one of the special fenders or a CVO fender, just because of the extra work involved in that. So this is how we settled on these filler panels here. For what I paid for them and what they do, very, very pleased with the overall look. If you got any questions, go ahead and drop it in the comments down below. I did this video because I haven't seen anybody do one of these before. So I just wanted to see how they fit, see how they went together. I do like that they're held on with screws and not with tape. That's a very, very big plus to me. Something with tape, I feel like with weather and rain and everything coming back here, it would kind of shake it loose over time and just, you know, the debris would get in there. So these are screwed on, screws into plastic. It's tight. It's not going anywhere. So I'm pleased with that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So leave any comment, you know, any questions you got in the comments down below. Drop a like, be sure to subscribe, and we will catch you guys in the next video.